The weight of a king's heart. The evening air was cooling when King David rose from his bed. Sleep eluded him that night, as it often did in those days when the weight of the crown felt heavier than usual. His armies were at war under Joab's command, but David remained in Jerusalem, a decision that would alter the course of his life and kingdom. From his rooftop, he could see across the city. The homes of his people spread before him like a tapestry of lives he was sworn to protect. And there, in the fading light, he saw her, Bathsheba, bathing in the privacy of her own courtyard, unaware that royal eyes were upon her. What happened next wasn't a story of love at first sight. It was a story of unchecked power. David, who had slain Goliath and united a kingdom, who had danced before the ark of God with abandon, now found himself captive to a different kind of desire. He sent messengers to inquire about her. "She is Bathsheba, daughter of Eliam, the wife of Uriah the Hittite," they reported. The wife of Uriah, one of David's mighty men, a fact that should have stood as a wall. Instead, David sent for her anyway. Desire, power, and consequence. The text doesn't tell us what Bathsheba thought as she received the king's summons. Was she honored, terrified, resigned to the reality that one does not refuse a king? She came to him, and he lay with her. Then she returned to her house, carrying more than she knew. Weeks later, 2 words arrived that would unravel everything. "I'm pregnant." Now David faced a crisis. He could have confessed, could have faced the consequences with the same courage he'd shown against bears and lions and armies. Instead, he chose deception. He called Uriah back from the battlefield under the pretense of getting a war report, then encouraged him to go home to his wife. Surely Uriah would sleep with Bathsheba, and the child could be passed off as his. But Uriah was a better man than his king in that moment. "The ark and Israel and Judah are staying in tents," Uriah said. "My commander Joab and my lord's men are camped in the open field. How could I eat, drink, and sleep with my wife?" His integrity became a mirror reflecting David's shame. A loyal soldier and a king's dark plan. David tried again, even getting Uriah drunk, but still the loyal soldier refused to go home. His faithfulness was now an obstacle, a living witness to David's sin. So David made a darker choice. He wrote a letter to Joab and had Uriah carry his own death warrant. "Put Uriah out in front where the fighting is fiercest. Then withdraw from him, so he will be struck down and die." Uriah died in battle. After a period of mourning, David married Bathsheba. The matter seemed settled, buried under royal privilege in the fog of war. But the passage ends with 7 chilling words. "But the thing David had done displeased the Lord. Months passed. Bathsheba's child was born. Maybe David thought he had gotten away with it. But then the prophet Nathan arrived with a story. There were 2 men in a certain town, Nathan said, one rich, one poor. The rich man had many sheep, but the poor man had nothing except one little ewe lamb. It grew up with him like a daughter. You are the man. When a traveler came," Nathan continued, "the rich man refused to take from his own flock. Instead, he took the poor man's lamb and prepared it for his guest." David's anger exploded. "As surely as the Lord lives, the man who did this must die. He must pay 4-fold for the lamb because he had no pity." Nathan looked at him and said the words that shattered David's defenses. "You are the man." Suddenly, the truth David had buried burst into daylight. Nathan exposed everything: adultery, murder, betrayal, and the abuse of power. Why did you despise the word of the Lord by doing what is evil in his eyes? God had given David everything and would have given him more. But David took what was not his and killed an innocent man to cover it. Consequences came like rolling thunder. The sword would never depart from David's house. What he had done in secret would be done in public. His own family would rebel against him. David finally said, "I have sinned against the Lord." Judgment, grief, and redemption, Nathan replied, "The Lord has taken away your sin. You will not die. But because by doing this you have shown utter contempt for the Lord, the son born to you will die." 7 days later, despite David's fasting and weeping, the child died. David rose, washed, worshipped, and ate, confusing his servants. "While the child was alive, I fasted," he explained. "I thought, who knows? The Lord may be gracious and let the child live. But now he is dead. I will go to him, but he will not return to me." From this wreckage came one of Scripture's most powerful prayers. Psalm 51. "Have mercy on me, O God. Wash away all my iniquity. Against you, you only, have I sinned." Later, David comforted Bathsheba, and she bore a son named Solomon, meaning peace. The text simply says, "The Lord loved him." David's story teaches us that even a man after God's own heart can fall terribly. But confession, true confession, opens the door to restoration, even when consequences remain. And from David and Bathsheba's broken beginning came the line that would lead to another child, one who would bring redemption to all who finally say, "I have sinned.